You can work hard, get paid on time, avoid reckless decisions, and still feel like your money disappears before it ever becomes yours. And that is the part that makes it so frustrating. Because when people talk about being broke, they make it sound like it comes from one dramatic mistake, a bad investment, a luxury car, a gambling problem, a wild shopping addiction. But for most people, that is not how it happens. Most people do not go broke loudly. They go broke quietly. A few dollars before work, a delivery order after a long day, a subscription they forgot about, a credit card balance that never really moves, a small upgrade because life has been stressful, a purchase that feels harmless because in the moment it makes sense. And that is what makes these habits dangerous. They do not feel like financial mistakes. They feel normal. They feel deserved. They feel like life. But slowly, they train your money to leave before it ever has a chance to protect you. The problem is not that every small purchase is bad. The problem is that small spending becomes invisible when it blends into your routine. You grab something on the way to work because it is convenient. You order food because cooking feels like another task after a long day. You keep paying for things you barely use because canceling them feels too small to matter. None of it feels serious. That is why it keeps happening. A $7 purchase does not feel like a financial decision. A $15 delivery fee does not feel like a future problem. A $12 subscription does not feel like a reason your savings account is empty. But money does not care if the leak feels small. It only cares that it keeps leaking. And when enough small leaks stay open, you do not need one huge disaster to feel broke. Your normal life starts doing the damage for you. This is where the pattern usually begins. Not with something huge, with something easy: coffee, snacks, energy drinks, quick lunches, small convenience purchases that slide into the day without asking permission. The danger is not the item itself. The danger is that it feels too small to question. So you do not question it. You just keep doing it. And over time, your money starts disappearing through habits that never feel big enough to count. That is why small daily spending is so powerful. It does not look like a decision. It looks like a routine. And once spending becomes routine, you stop feeling the money leave. Food delivery is not just about food. Sometimes it is exhaustion. Sometimes it is stress. Sometimes it is the feeling that after everything you dealt with that day, cooking feels like punishment. So the order makes sense. You're not being reckless. You are tired. And that is why this habit is so easy to defend. Because every order has a reason. But the cost is not just the meal. It is the fees, the tip, the markup, the convenience charge, the repeat. And the part that really gets people is this: delivery does not feel like lifestyle inflation. It feels like relief. But when relief becomes a regular expense, your stress starts charging you every week. Subscriptions are dangerous because they are quiet by design. They do not ask you to decide every month. They just keep taking. Streaming platforms, apps, software, gym memberships, cloud storage, free trials that became bills, services you thought you would use more. One subscription rarely breaks you. That is why it survives. It hides behind the sentence. It's only a few dollars. But when 10 different companies are allowed to pull money from your account every month, your paycheck starts getting divided before you even touch it. And because the charges are automatic, they do not feel like spending. They feel like background noise. But background noise still costs money. Minimum payments feel responsible because you are paying something, and that is the trap. You feel like you are handling the debt because you did not ignore it. You made the payment, you stayed current, you avoided the late fee, but the balance barely moves. Interest keeps working, the card stays open, the pressure stays alive, and month after month, you are not really paying for what you bought. You are paying for the delay. That is what makes credit card debt so exhausting. It turns past spending into a monthly bill that keeps showing up long after the purchase stopped making you feel good. The item is gone. The meal is forgotten. The moment passed, but the payment stayed. This one is personal because sometimes spending is not about the thing. It is about feeling like you got something back. You worked hard. You had a stressful week. You handled responsibilities nobody saw. You kept showing up even when you were tired. So when the thought comes, I deserve this, it feels fair. And sometimes you do deserve to enjoy your life. The problem starts when I deserve it becomes the reason every dollar loses direction, because if every stressful week earns a purchase, then stress becomes the person controlling your money, not your plan, not your future, not your goals. Stress. And the harder life gets, the more expensive relief becomes. Lifestyle upgrades are tricky because they do not feel like waste. They feel like progress, a nicer apartment, a newer phone, a better car, more expensive clothes, more eating out, better versions of everything you already had, and sometimes upgrades are normal. The issue is when every income increase immediately becomes a new monthly obligation. You make more, but you do not feel ahead, because the raise already has somewhere to go. The bonus becomes a purchase. The new job becomes a new lifestyle. The extra money gets absorbed before it becomes safety. This is why some people earn more and still feel the same pressure. Their income changed, but their financial breathing room did not. Emotional spending does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like scrolling at night with a tired mind. Sometimes it looks like adding something to the cart because the day felt heavy. Sometimes it looks like buying a small thing just to feel in control of one part of your life. That is why judging yourself does not fix it, because the spending is not random. It is responding to something: boredom, pressure, loneliness, comparison, burnout, frustration. The purchase becomes a small emotional escape. But the problem is, the feeling fades faster than the cost, and when the money is gone, the original emotion is usually still there. Now you are stressed for the same reason, with less money. Not tracking your spending keeps the pattern comfortable, because what you do not look at, you do not have to confront. You can feel broke without knowing exactly why. You can blame the paycheck, the bills, the economy, the cost of living. And sometimes those things are real, but without tracking, you cannot tell the difference between money that had to leave and money that slipped away. That is where people stay stuck. They know they are under pressure, but they do not know where the pressure is coming from. And when you do not know where the leak is, you start thinking the whole house is broken. Sometimes the problem is not that you have no money. Sometimes the problem is that your money has no witness. A lot of people do not avoid their bank account because they are lazy. They avoid it because they already know it is going to hurt. Opening the app feels like checking bad news. So they wait, they guess, they hope nothing bounced, they hope the card works, they hope payday comes before the next problem. But avoiding the number does not protect you from the number. It only delays the moment you deal with it. And the longer you look away, the more power the account has over your emotions. This is how money anxiety grows. Not just from being short on cash, but from not knowing how short you are. Clarity can feel uncomfortable at first, but confusion is more expensive. This is one of the quietest traps. You pay the bills, you cover the basics, you see what is left, and your brain says, okay, this is what I can spend. But leftover money is not automatically free money. Some of it may need to become savings. Some of it may need to become debt progress. Some of it may need to become an emergency fund. Some of it may need to become investing. But when every leftover dollar becomes available for spending, your future never gets paid. Only the present does. That is why the end of the month feels the same over and over. Money came in, money went out, life continued, but nothing got stronger. The real cost of these habits is not just the money you spent. It is what the money never became. The daily spending never became savings. The delivery fees never became debt progress. The unused subscriptions never became an emergency fund. The minimum payments never became freedom from interest. The emotional purchases never became stability. The leftover money never became momentum. And this is why the pattern hurts, because you are not just losing dollars. You are losing options. You are losing breathing room. You are losing the version of your life where one unexpected bill does not shake everything. That is what normal money habits can quietly take from you. Not all at once, slowly, calmly, automatically. Most people think they need more money before they can fix their finances. More income can help, but more income does not solve a pattern that has already learned how to absorb every dollar. If your money disappears at $2,000 a month, it can disappear at $4,000 if every raise becomes a new bill. More income just gives the leak more room. The shift starts when money stops leaving without a job. Some dollars are for bills, some are for food, some are for enjoying life, but some dollars need to stay. Some dollars need to protect you. Some dollars need to build something that does not disappear by next Friday. Wealth does not begin when you finally earn a perfect amount. It begins when your money stops passing through your life with no direction. Start with the last 30 days, not to shame yourself, to see the pattern clearly. Look through your spending and ask one question. What did I buy because I needed it? And what did I buy because I was tired, rushed, stressed, bored, or comparing myself? That one question will show you more than a complicated budget ever could. Then cancel anything that keeps charging you for a life you are not actually living. Not because $10 will make you rich, but because every automatic charge teaches your money to leave without permission. Next, create friction around emotional spending. Do not save your card everywhere. Do not buy the moment the urge hits. Give yourself one night before non-essential purchases. A lot of spending disappears when the emotion has time to cool down. Then stop treating leftover money as spendable. Move something first, even if it is small. Savings first, debt first, investing first, protection first. Not because the amount is impressive, but because you are training your money to stop waiting until the end of the month to matter. The goal is not to become cheap. The goal is not to never enjoy food, clothes, comfort, or convenience. The goal is to stop being financially easy to drain. You are not trying to punish yourself. You are trying to protect yourself. Because a peaceful financial life is not built by pretending you have no desires. It is built by deciding which desires get to control your money. Some spending makes life better, some spending keeps you stuck, and the difference is not always the price. Sometimes the difference is whether the dollar had a purpose before it left. You do not need to fix everything overnight, but you do need to notice the pattern, because the habit that feels normal today can quietly become the reason your future keeps starting over. A small purchase is not the enemy. Convenience is not the enemy. Enjoying life is not the enemy. The enemy is money, living your life automatically, emotionally, and repeatedly, before it ever has a chance to build anything for you. And once you see the leak, you can stop calling it normal. If this made you look at money differently, subscribe to Fiscal Sense, because the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to stop being financially easy to break.